are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
It is that. It is damn good coffee, and it's hot. And that screen stays up a little bit too long, but that's the way it is, folks. Anyway, good morning. It's Friday. Are you happy it's Friday? Your issues with Andy Day, or your tissues with Randy Day, or your, I don't know. It's Friday, June 17th, 2022. Excuse me. I am so sorry that just happened. How was your night? Did you have a good night? I had a pretty shitty night, but I'm here and alive and grateful to be here today with you. And the weekend is here. A very busy weekend for me. I got 3 gigs this weekend, one tonight, one tomorrow, and one Sunday afternoon for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, you fathers out there, daddies. It's Daddy's Day on Sunday. Anything special? Are you doing anything special for Dad? I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say about that. It's just I look forward to playing this weekend. The weatherman was screwing with me today. I pulled up my app, and for some reason, it was giving me the 10-day forecast, and I did not realize that. And I looked at the weekend, and it looked like rain every day this weekend. I was like, "What the hell happened? It was going to be beautiful every day this weekend, and all of a sudden, like that, they switched." No, no, no. Next weekend's going to suck. Speaking of rain, I understand the Southwest. See, I thought the Southwest was bracing for monsoon season, getting ready for some rain. And then I hear there's places out there that are having brush fires again, which just sucks, man. It never ends. So I feel bad for those people. I always feel bad for those people. They need some water. Send them some of this water that we've been having. We've been having more rain than ever this year. But hopefully this weekend will stay dry. Kind of overcast now and cloudy. Uh, Not exactly a pretty day out, but it's going to be hot. Going to go up to like 90 here with the humidity. That's pretty tough. So we have an outdoor gig on the beach tonight, Lindenhurst, Long Island, Venetian Shores, at a place called Catch, one of the best venues to play at for fun. But as Mikey and I were talking yesterday, it's the most work we do for the least amount of pay all season, but we look forward to this like it's something special. If tonight actually did get rained out and the 2 gigs tomorrow and Sunday, I would be fine with that. The novelty of playing at the big beach venue for more people than you can count, that kind of is gotten old because, again, it is the most work for the least amount of pay. So there's that. Anyway, hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, and hope you are planning to do something nice for Dad on Sunday. Yesterday, I started a show on a roll about poetry because the night before, my guest was a filmmaker, an author, and poet, and I had expressed the differences between songwriting and poetry, and said, "Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of poetry." But then I was pointing out some of the work my young friend Davey does almost on a daily basis. And I started to think about some of that. And I picked up my acoustic guitar and I started writing a song. And it went very, very quickly. I wrote a song that it borders on like poetry. It's very Bob Dylan esque. A little nod to Mishka Shubaly, a little bit of Tom Waits in there. But so I wrote this song in 10 minutes, recorded it in another 10 minutes, did a video for it in another 10 minutes, and posted it online. Fastest production ever. I was really happy with it. It's called Something to Say, and I posted it yesterday. I might play it at some point during the show today. Um, Blair Burns, comedian from Arizona, speaking of the Southwest where it's very dry. Blair Burns will be with us at 10 a.m. today, 10 a.m. Eastern. Looking forward to meeting her and finding out about her career. She basically seems like she's working a lot around her hometown, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Uh, there seems to be still a thriving comedy scene out there, comedy clubs to work out there, which is different than there is, we have Govs. We do have Govs, and I wanted to mention Govs. Tonight at Governor's in Levittown, Long Island, Aaron Berg will be there. He'll be there tonight and tomorrow night in Bohemia. Stand-up showcase, Gateway Comedy presents, and I believe some of the comedians who have been on this program will be performing there, but I don't have a list of names. But I do believe, I think Rob White will be there. Some of the other Long Island comedians that we've had on the program will be there. At the brokerage in Belmore, New York, Caitlin Cook will be there tonight and tomorrow night. So that's what's going on over there. See what's going on in the news today. Oh, good morning, Kelly, and good morning, Craig. Craig, I was just talking about because I think you posted something on Twitter yesterday about monsoons, and it looked like you were getting ready to get some rain. And I thought, well, that's good news. I was relieved for you. And then last night, looks like you posted something about brush fires again. So seems like it's never ending out there. I hope you get some rain soon. Are you expecting rain soon? Hopefully. And you guys are excited about Issues with Andy coming out today. I think there is a new episode out at noon today. I think we are expecting one. Thought about reaching out to Andy. It's been a while since we've had him on the show last night. I was thinking, yesterday we had Budsy on. Budsy from Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's what made me think about reaching out to Andy, is because Budsy's episode, if you caught yesterday, it was just a very strange one. Sierra had some nasty things to say about Budsy once he was off the air. I'm gonna address that with her today. I have no problem with her being. Actually, I encourage her to be open and honest about those kind of feelings. But I wanted to do it on air while the person's there. It's better radio. It's more honest. It's just a better thing. But Budsy was on yesterday, and extraordinary numbers on the downloads already. I mean, the most since the Christmas that Andy was on, getting ready before his surgery, before when he was getting ready to go for his cancer surgery, the best numbers we've done since that episode with Andy. So maybe being crazy as fuck helps the numbers. Possible. Anyway, that was a very interesting show. I don't even know where to go from there. I did not even get a chance to talk to Budsy about his comedy much. We were talking about his weed business, his barbecue business, his dental business, where it turns out somebody died in his chair and he went to prison for involuntary manslaughter, and things like that. And a lot of cannabis talk, of course, because he owns Budsy's Green Room in Las Vegas, Nevada. Anyway, so that was yesterday, and again, numbers were incredible. Really, really good number. I don't know if he's got a huge fan base that he told about it, or people just heard it was crazy as fuck and said, "Let's check out Crazy as Fuck." That happens. Um, so anyway, going on in the news today. Nothing's going on in the news that you care to know about. Nothing is going on in the news unless you care about the January 6th hearings, and I know most people have tuned out to that stuff. Yesterday, we had a judge on who was a human sleeping pill. If you ever really have a problem getting to sleep, you just can't get to sleep, insomnia, find a recording of yesterday's January 6th hearing and play the first hour of it. I promise you, you will be able to sleep. I never saw anybody talk so slow in my life. Oh my god, it was really the guy again, human, um, sleeping pill. I felt like I just ate a sleeping pill there. I put myself to sleep just trying to imitate him. Uh, need a little coffee to wake up from that coma I just put myself in. I'm really looking forward to, gigging my ass off this weekend. I don't know, feeling really inspired lately. I punched my guitar on a a gig on Wednesday afternoon at the nursing home. Mikey came up and he was singing a couple of songs with me, and I was trying to do some percussion work while I was strumming the guitar, and sometimes I hit it a little too hard. I think I might have punched it out. I punched the pickup loose or something, so got to do some guitar surgery right after the show today and get ready. See, that's what I was referring to before when I said tonight's gig, a lot of work for I gotta get ready to leave my house by probably 3:30 PM. I have to have all the equipment packed up with because it's a larger venue, we bring a lot more equipment, and have to get there a lot earlier to make sure it all gets set up right. I'll be filming it. I thought about streaming tonight, but it's always a pain in the ass, and the audio is difficult to manage when you do a live stream. I would like to do that. I need some help. I need some help in that. But again, so I'm leaving at my house at 3:30 today, and I probably won't be home until 2:30. So 11 hours. 11 hours away from home. A lot of hard work, a lot of moving equipment, just playing a 4-hour gig on the beach, for tonight I'm expecting lots of numbers in the thousands. Uh and so it should be a fun and not just 1,000 people in numbers in the thousands of people, but thousands of crazy, um, off the hook people who just ready to party. They come ready to party. They come, kick the weekend off, light the fuse, and let's get insane. Let's jump up on stage with the band, all that kind of stuff. Um, hopefully, nobody will have a gun knife or a knife gun. I'm not even sure how you say that. Knife gun, gun knife, attacking anybody, but and very not enough security to stop people from running up on a stage if we wanted to. It would be good to stream if I could do it. Um, so there's that. Uh, what else is going on in the world? Well, when Kiara gets here, she's got to have a very Florida Manny type story. I got a little. Oh yeah, they'll be doing some stage diving, but the stage is not high enough. Craig is asking if we're doing any stage diving. The stage is not really high enough to do that all that successfully. It's a big stage, a big wide stage, but it's not up that high. It's probably only well, there's a couple of levels of it. There's the level where the lead singers are is probably a foot above the regular dance floor, and then where the band is, it's 2 feet, and then where the drummer is, it's 3 feet. So it's kind of like a level. It's a Kramer thing. Levels, Jerry, levels. And so I go between all three levels because I'm freelancing. I will have the wireless on, and I will be. Listen, the beach is. It's probably a mile all on the entire park, and I use a lot of it. I will definitely be using a lot of it, a lot of that miles. There will be parts where the states won't even know where we are, and that's a problem with Mikey with his wireless. Sometimes we lose him. I don't even know where he is. I hear him, but I can't see him. But so it's a fun gig. It's the least amount of pay for the most work. It does make you feel young until you're on your way home, and then you feel very old. And then when you get home, It's like, where's the hot tub, man? I got to get in the hot tub. I need a jacuzzi. I am broken. I'm a broken old man. But and then you can't wait to do it again. That's the way it is. Not surprised. I'm still trying to reach out to Morgan Murphy, by the way. Uh, what made me think of her is just the rigors of road work made me think of her, and how it can beat you down. Because having seen her recently, it seemed like, and even in New York City, where I think she felt very comfortable in New York City. uh, it's a lot of work for a 15-minute set, whatever she did. I don't know how long. I don't remember how long it was. It seemed to go by really fast. It seemed like 5 or 10 minutes. A lot of work for her to do for that kind of stuff. And I was just thinking about that's what popped into my mind as we're thinking about all the work we're doing tonight for a 4-hour gig. So that it is what it is. There's nothing really going on trending in the world that I really want to talk to. It's all fucking politics. And you know what? The news should take a break. I love the idea that the UK is starting a 4-day work week, but the news should take a break starting on Friday morning and only give you news that's not politically related at all. Let's not talk about politics on Friday through early Monday. Let's just leave that um, out of the equation whatsoever. No politics. My friends who are into baseball are still mad at me for just busting their balls, but not gonna stop busting their balls. I'm talking about Met fans. Yankee fans are, it's impossible to bust their balls. Yankee fans are so full of themselves and so sure that they're gonna win it all every year that no amount of ball busting works on them. They are immune to it. But Met fans have like battered woman syndrome. All you have to do is raise a hand and they flinch. And so they don't like to be teased in any way. They can't take it, and they're very upset by all of it. But that doesn't stop me from doing it. So they want to be excited about their team. They want to be, and they're still in first place, but they still haven't, for the most part, been tested. And knowing the Mets, having followed them from 1962 to 2008, they're going to collapse. They always collapse. That's what they do. They're the collapsers. They should rename the team to the collapsers. Anyway, so it's just fun to see how angry I'm making some people, and how easy it is to get under the skin of some people and really really just, tweak them and all that kind of stuff. So let's see what we got here. 9:15. Maybe now's a good time. You know what? I'll play my sponsors and get it out of the way. Today's show is brought to you by TrueFire, right? That's right. Yes, TrueFire. You want to learn to play guitar online? Best place to do it is TrueFire. There's a lot of ways we could. A lot of places they're offering courses. Easy, get up and start it in a month, 2 months, whatever. 7 days to mastering the guitar. All that stuff is bullshit. You have to be able to practice. And people say you can do it without learning the neck, without learning the cage system, without learning. No, you have to learn all the chords. You have to learn all the scales. But the best way to do that as quickly as possible is TrueFire. I'll let them tell you about what makes them so special right now. Our show is brought to you by TrueFire today.
Over 2 million guitar players worldwide learn, practice, and play with TrueFire. Our learning tools and massive library of video lessons will ignite your technical skills, harmonic knowledge, rhythm playing, and soloing chops. TrueFire's educators are the best in the biz, from Grammy Award winners to world-renowned artists. You'll have access to an unparalleled faculty of over 300 top-notch blues, rock, jazz, country, fingerstyle, and acoustic guitar educators. Using our desktop and mobile apps, you'll work with TrueFire's multi-angle video lessons on any device, anytime, anywhere. Integrated learning tools such as video synced tab and notation, slow-mo, looping, practice jam tracks, and many more handy controls accelerate your learning experience. TrueFire's style-specific learning paths guide you every step of the way. Use our assessment tools to find your starting point, then follow our lesson recommendations and track your progress as you work through your personalized TrueFire study plan. Progress faster with private one-on-one instruction, group lessons, multi-track video jams, live streams, song lessons, student forums, TrueFire's Riff magazine, premium jam tracks, and much, much more. With thousands of 5-star ratings and reviews from amateur and pro players alike, you'll find yourself in good company with the world's most comprehensive guitar learning platform. Grab your guitar and ignite your musicality. Sign up free for an all-access trial today.
Yeah. TrueFire, man. That's the way to learn guitar online. And you can get a gig with the Rockin' 45s very soon because I'm going to be dropping dead. Speaking of dropping dead, it's like that segue. Speaking of dropping dead, our friend Carl, not looking good. It turns out you can catch COVID or monkeypox from watching Coffee with the Dog. So I hope you're all wearing masks out there, all you people listening and watching right now. I hope you have a mask on. Hope you've been you're taking precautions. I hope you're washing your hands and all that kind of stuff. Carl, under the weather, and Dykes and Man yesterday. Jamie actually made it to the show, which was good to see. But then Carl barely made it to the show. It was a difficult one, and he's not feeling well. I mean, last night he posted he was off to die. I thought, boy, listen, I me. I don't want. Carl will be okay. Knock on wood. He'll be okay. But I thought about, what if he did die in Brazil? Man, that would suck. For everybody. I mean, obviously, him dying would suck anywhere. But dying in Brazil for his family and for us and just getting his body back to the UK or whatever, nobody even knows what he would want to do. That's something that, you got to think about before you go taking a vacation you never come back from. What if I die there? What would I do? What would I want people to do? It's a fucked up thing to think about, but you have to think about it because it definitely could happen. People die on vacation a lot. Not like a high percentage, but it happens a lot because people take vacations a lot. And when you're on an extended vacation, like when you're never going to come back from, I'm getting mono in these headphones again. I'm going to have to switch ears to my good ear. Hold on. And when I say I'm getting mono, I don't mean mononucleosis. I didn't sleep well. You know why I didn't sleep well? My wife overfed me like a pig, like a big fat boar. Not a boring boar, like a male pig boar. Overfed me, stuffed me, and very uncomfortable. I can't eat a lot anymore. I'm too old to eat a lot, but I did. She just kept bringing me food. And how do you not eat it? Well, so don't bring me any more food. I'm stuffed. Very uncomfortable evening. So my guest didn't show up last night. My guest was supposed to be Dr. Stanley Andrews, who, another prisoner. Listen, I'm becoming the prison podcast. Almost all my guests have been to prison. You realize that? Are you keeping track? Not all my guests, but a higher percentage than probably some prison-based podcasts. I probably have more prisoners on than Bobby Caldwell has on Notes from the Pen. Everybody, it seems, has gone to prison. Well, Dr. Stanley Andrews started out his life making some bad decisions, went to jail for dealing drugs, and turned his life around tremendously. So now he's a PhD and an academic at Howard University, an endocrinologist, and has dedicated his life to helping other prisoners turn their lives around through education. Great thing. But it brings me back to I hate to be like always finding flaws. That's what I do. And I hate to be like that. I hate that aspect of myself. But this idea of necessarily needing college to lift yourself up. Well, we deal enough with people who are not in prison and college debt and the massive debt it puts on, and then people who go to college unnecessarily. Now, I guess if you're staying behind bars and the government is already paying for your 3 square meals a day, obviously education is a good thing. If you're behind bars and you got the time and you're already on the dole, as they say, weird kind of dole to be on. Um, sure, get a degree, but make sure you get a degree in something you can use. I hope Dean's not listening. Not a not a degree like philosophy or I don't know what arborist, or make sure you get a degree that is applicable to getting a job in the 21st century. What those might be. I think you have to have an eye on the future. You have to be a bit of a fortune teller, or be able to see the future in a little bit, a little way, a little small kind of way, um, to really be able to pick out a degree that is going to be worth something. Because got a degree back in the day thinking print journalism was always going to be a thing. It was always going to be a thing. So I was going to write for newspapers. I didn't pursue that. But if I had, I'd be shit out of luck right now. I mean, I don't know if newspapers are hiring writers. I don't know. Are they? Why would they? I guess they're trying to make the transition to digital. Who pays for their? I see people linking to national papers all the time. Who pays subscriptions on all these things? Washington Post, New York Times, USA Today, everything that's behind a paywall. And I guess the craft of writing for paper or writing for digital is still the same. So there's still some work out there. But people who went to college for that degree, they're kind of like up shit's creek without a paddle now. So that's my only real concern about this whole using college as a way to people to turn their college education as a way for people in prison to turn their life around. I'm all for people in prison turning their life around, making life better for themselves. All for that. But there are some things that we need to look at, and let's face it, we got enough people going broke who are already out of jail, not in jail, because of college debt. And there are other ways to lift yourself up and better your life. So that's always a concern and always something to keep thinking about. Kara should have been here by now. I have a feeling, uh, because we have. I don't know how many gigs she has this weekend. I have 3. I think she's only got 1, and that's tonight. I have to think about that. Yeah, she's not with me tomorrow night, and unless she's with another duo act, she probably only got 1 gig tonight. But I was thinking probably resting up for a long weekend, but she doesn't have the kind of weekend that I have. I'll be gigging pretty pretty horrendous schedule this week. Total of probably what do we got here? What if I count Sunday? Sunday's Father's Day. Got 2 shows on Sunday. Um, so it's a 4 gig weekend. I'll be out traveling, putting in probably 30 hours over the weekend and travel all around and with the playing and all that stuff. So that's a pretty long 3 days. I think she just got one night, and that's tonight. So she should be up and here by now, lost, lost in slumber. Uh, anyway, so you know what? My guest arrived a little early today. I don't see any danger. Could be dangerous. You never know. Bringing her in right now, in just a minute here. Blair Burns is a comedian based in Phoenix, Arizona, where it's hot and dry, and where I can't imagine things are too funny this time of year, where it's so hot and so dry. I know that she worked last night. Speaking of tired, and I'm very surprised to see her here early because I know what the gigging life is like. So I know she was out working last night at the House of Comedy in Phoenix, Arizona, and she's here now. Ladies and gentlemen, please open your ears, open your minds, and help me welcome in Blair Burns to the Puppy
Oh,
Dog Show. Good
good
morning.
morning. Good morning to you.
Thank you for being up this early. What is it? It's 7:30 or 6:30?
6:30.
6:30, because
Yeah.
not all of Arizona changes, right? So,
We never change. It's really nice.
oh, so you're okay. So this is 6:30, and it will be 6:30 at this time in December as well, right?
Yeah. When I see programming on, TV and they'll say something Eastern, I have no idea now what time they're talking about. The show will be on 7 o'clock this time, that time. I don't know because we
Wow,
never change.
that's
So
interesting. I thought it was. I knew you didn't change, but I thought you changed. You were always on Mountain Time. Seems like you're always on Pacific Time.
I don't even know. I've lived here 40 some years. I don't know.
Wow. Tell me now, Phoenix, Arizona. I was thinking about this last night because a lot of our friends are out in the Southwest, and a lot of people in Arizona, believe it or not. But how dry it is out there, and how hot it is right now, and it's going to get even hotter. And I was thinking there was rain on the way to help you out. No.
I think there was a forecast for rain and then it became a forecast for clouds. And now it's just another sunny day.
Wow.
Yeah, and hot, 110, 111.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
already hit 114 the first week of June. And
man.
that's unusual, but here we
As
are.
Does it stay that way? Because when I was in Vegas in July a lot, I did used to do Vegas every July for several years in a row, and it would be 120 in the day, and then you leave the hotel at night, 11 o'clock at night, and it'd still be 110 degrees when you walked out on the street. Is
Yeah,
that the situation where you are?
pretty much. Yeah, it'll cool down to 100 at night, at midnight. So
Wow.
we have so much concrete here. So you have all that heat retention. And so the concrete just releases the heat all day, all night long. So there's no escape.
Wow, that's tough. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm a little concerned about the future out there with all the water, the
Yeah.
drought, and such. Does that cross your mind? Do you live with anxiety about that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So my day job is real estate. So I
Ooh.
think about it all the time.
Y-
And I'm shocked how many people completely give it no thought whatsoever. Not at all.
Really?
Um, yeah.
It's snowbirds. People just trying to old people trying to get out of the cold.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely have that whole market, but even the people who live here, I think, honestly, people don't want to deal with it because there aren't real solutions. And so, what's the point? And
Right.
people tend to just go on like normal. Like, oh, you keep going on until you can't get a pool permit anymore. You know,
Wow.
they're not really doing anything about water restrictions here or anything. So, eventually, it's going to happen and people will be a little more conscious about it. But right now,
Interesting, especially for somebody in real estate, because I've been watching videos on the Southwest lately, again, because I have a lot of friends out there. But the idea that the Southwest before World War II was not as populated as it is now. A lot of people from the North and Northeast went down there to escape the cold, became very
Mhm.
populated. This probably contributed to a lot of the water shortages and definitely compounded the drought situation there. And they're saying if things get really bad, what we're going to see is a quick reversal of that. So all the 60 million people who went from the Northeast to the
Yeah.
Southeast, not just Arizona, are going to rush back, leaving that
Yeah.
a ghost town. And the towns up and the cities where I am are not going to be able to handle the influx of people anymore. So,
Yeah. I think they call
yeah.
it climate migration.
Right, climate migration. Yeah, that's what it is. And so, hope that doesn't happen. Hope you find a
Yeah. Or Vermont's going to be building a wall.
right. Yes.
Don't want it.
So now the Phoenix area,
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of comedy there. Like there's still a comedy club happening situation there. Not so much in a lot of parts of America. Comedy clubs are not as prevalent as they were, and people are putting together shows in coffee shops and all
Yeah.
sorts of weird venues. You still seem to have quite a few traditional comedy clubs there. Yes.
We do. We have a Tempe Improv, which is fantastic. Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. That's probably about the second. Oh, Phoenix Live is a big room. So we have a few big rooms where you can get hundreds of people, and then some smaller rooms. And they seem to do well. But in Scottsdale proper, I don't think we have one single comedy club.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
used to in Old Town area have a really fun, intimate little club. We maybe held 125 or something, but it's a nice size room. So we have nothing there. So yeah, there's things that pop up now and again, but it's really hard to hold a comedy show in a venue that's not really geared to it.
Yeah,
Because
well, this is my concern a lot because I talk to a lot of comedians who work in bars, and like people go to bars, they don't expect to be talked to by somebody on stage. If there's music, that's one thing that I can listen to it in the background while I'm
yeah,
trying to get a date or whatever I'm really there for, get drunk or get a date or both.
yeah,
But you can't put comedy in the background. You can't just not pay
right.
attention to it.
Well, because the whole secret of comedy is you need to have their attention. So they've got the setup. So when you deliver the punchline, they're paying attention. And when you can't get their attention or it's split, it's just like, a public service announcement. Like
Right.
it's there, but you're not really listening to it. So
Right, I get it.
frustrating.
My sleepy-headed co-host, Kiara, who brings in the happy news every day, is finally awoken. I'm gonna need to bring
Oh,
her in. Just please bear with me while I play her intro music. She can't come in
yeah,
or go out without
yeah.
intro music.
If
So
you have a
just
bigger name on the other line, you can bump me off and
no, it's cool. Let me see. I got this. If you were good morning, Kira. Meet
Good
Blair,
morning.
meet Kira. Oh,
Hi,
listen to that
Blair.
hi,
like
good morning.
exciting, enthusiastic, energetic good morning for somebody who I know was just sleeping 3 minutes ago.
What are you talking about, Matt? Come on.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not sleeping. I've been up
You
since 6 a.m.
you were up at 2 a.m. texting me alligator stuff. So
Yes.
yeah, so good to see you here. Blair
Mm.
is in Phoenix, Arizona, and she worked a show last night, and she's up at 6:30. Well, it's a little after 6:30, but
Oh
in the
my
morning for her.
gosh. Wow. So she's really up at 6:30. Wow.
I have to
Oh,
say,
cool.
you look radiant and beautiful for 6:30. You should. We don't, I mean,
Seriously. Yeah.
yeah, right. Um, are you? Have you done any modeling, Blair? Because you're a very pretty
Oh,
woman.
oh my gosh. I thought we were
Aw.
talking about Kiara. I'm like, yeah, she
No.
does it
Oh,
great.
she
Uh,
has done modeling. Yes.
Oh, you're sweet. No, but that's awfully nice of you to say. No.
Wow.
oh.
You definitely. There was a woman who, Deborah Dreggs, who was a model. You bear a striking resemblance
Oh,
to her. So
nice.
I've interviewed her. So you
What's her name?
definitely.
Tara
Deborah Dreggs. She was married to
Deborah
Olympic
Dreggs.
athlete I forget his name. Gold medalist gymnast. Anyway, Mitch Gilbert
Deborah
was her husband.
Dreggs.
Um,
Oh,
anyway, so we're talking about the comedy scene in Phoenix. Now, do you travel far from Phoenix? Like, do you go up to Vegas to do shows, or over to California, or any of that kind of stuff?
So here's my comedy journey. I am still what I would call just a neophyte. I'm like, I've got my my point of view on this whole thing, but I am branding, just now getting really into it. So I had kids at home for a while there, and I was always concerned about embarrassing them. So I just kind of dialed it back, but I've been writing jokes forever. So I am really just now feeling the freedom of I don't have kids at home. I can travel, I can do things now. So now I'm working the circuit, so to speak.
Wow.
So I will be to those places.
That's cool. I mean, and I think it's almost like having a second lease on life. Not that
Yes.
anybody should celebrate their kids leaving or any of that or growing up and
Right.
empty nest stuff, but it does give you the freedom to go back to a life that is more
Oh my gosh.
fulfilling, right?
So, my life, the way it went, I mean, wasn't all bad or anything, but when I'm like 19. So I went to Saguaro High School here in Scottsdale, and just one class below me was David Spade. And so he started his little career at this Anderson's Fifth Estate. It was like the best local hangout. And so they did a comedy night. They started this comedy night, and he got up there, he's probably 19. I was like 19. And he would get up there and do his thing, and he was so funny. And I'd stand in the back of the room, and I'm like, oh, if I could just get up there. I want to get up there. So I'd go back to my little apartment. I'd write my little jokes. And I couldn't speak in front of people. Anytime I tried, it just went, and I couldn't control it. So I just couldn't get in front of a crowd. But I kept writing my little jokes because I still had funny ideas that I thought were amazing. So finally, because I'm in my 50s now, I think about the time I was creeping up on my 50s, I thought, you know what? If I don't do this now, shame on me.
Yep.
And so I took a little comedy class just so I could get behind a microphone and see what happened. And I used one of my first jokes I ever wrote when I was 19, and like, well, hallelujah. And then I still have stage fright, but I can do it now. So.
Well, yeah, stage fright. How does it manifest itself? Like, do you shake? Do you get nervous?
Yeah, my heart races, and I'm sure I will just black out and forget everything I meant to say. I kind of would describe it, the feeling like if you were on the top of a flight of stairs and you missed up the first one or two. After that, you're just grabbing at walls and railings as you're going down.
Yeah, I understand that very well, unfortunately. I actually literally understand that too well.
Sounds like an incident.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, but, so now I feel like, okay, what I know is I will feel that way, but I still can deliver. And I take it seriously. I don't, some of these comics just whip it out or make it up as they go, stream of consciousness thing. And I come prepared.
Yeah.
So I logged on early this morning. I get prepared because I just don't want to disappoint people. So
I don't know anybody who truly is that way. I know a lot of people who make it seem that way, but I think everybody is prepared on some level, unless they're doing just completely crowd work. There's interesting that you look great for 50 for 50s.
Yes,
I have to
definitely.
say,
deep 50s.
But I started doing what I'm doing now partially because of a guy I met. He was selling me an amplifier online on Craigslist. I was going to meet him in a parking lot for a mall, and I thought that was very weird. But I got there before he did, just because it just seemed to be weird. Like, usually when you're buying something online like that, you go to their house, and I'm like, why doesn't he want me coming to his house? Yeah. So I got there a little early, and he pulled up, and I could tell right away why he didn't want me coming to his house. He was very wealthy. He had a lot of money, and so we got to talking a little bit, and he asked me what I do, and I said I play in a band. And he said, "Oh, you're living a dream," and I laughed in his face. I like, you don't know my life. I'm not a rock star. I'm not rich and famous. Right. And he stopped me. He said, "Listen, I'm retiring. I'm a stockbroker. I made a lot of money in the stock market. I'm selling you my amp. I always wanted to play in a band. This is significant of I'm never going to do what I wanted to do with my life. And so I thought, well, why not? Number one, first of all, it was a perspective change for me. Like, wow, this a very rich man would trade places with me. I was
Wow.
like, wow, what am I missing here? He thinks
Yeah.
I'm living the dream and envious of me. And then there was like, it's never too late to do what you want to do, and it is too late when you're dead. So why not do it now? So I
Yeah.
celebrate you for taking the initiative and not waiting until
Yes.
you're 69 or 70 and saying, "I wish I would have."
I
Yeah,
know.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about it. And I really do feel like I've started a new kind of life. So, like the responsibilities that I had before, and when I was really busy in real estate was very intense, 7 days a week. It was a lot. And I stepped up for it. But now I'm like, oh, this is a different day. I mean,
right.
honestly, both my boys moved. In fact, one of them lives in New York now, delivers cookies in Lower Manhattan.
Ooh,
Like living a dream.
yeah. Okay.
Well,
That's
he's
yeah.
like, yeah,
Have you
he's loving
been?
it.
Have you been? I don't know. I'm not a city person, but it's so crowded there. And
You know what? That kid, since he was 5, we had family in the area and we'd visit in the summer times. And since he was 5 years old, he always said, I want to move to New York. I want to move to New York. So he is living his little dream and
good
he
for him.
pays his rent, riding a bike, delivering cookies and making people happy.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, my older son is in the Air Force. So basically, though, they both left Arizona and have no intentions of coming back. I'm like, what am I doing? So
Yeah.
yeah, took advantage of our real estate market and sold our home, and now I am just living. I feel like I'm 19 again, only
You're
don't.
living the dream. Go ahead. You could say
I
it. You could say
am.
it.
I'm living my dream. I am living my dream. I really
Good for
am.
you. I love to hear
Wow.
that. And
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, is there a vocational hazard for being funny, like when you're doing the real estate stuff? Are you can you overdo the comedy? Can it be a vocational hazard?
Yeah, so I definitely find times where I'd want to say something and I just bite my tongue. But honestly, it's been a huge asset. So when you've got people in real estate transactions, it's very tense sometimes and it brings out a personality that you just can't believe people have inside. I mean, people get really stressed and really emotional. And I have often found it's not like you can premeditate the situation. It's a little bit like crowd work, but it's a crowd of 2 angry sellers or buyers or whatever you have. And a little levity just can break the ice. It breaks the tension. And it helps people reset in a negotiation or whatever. And it's been beneficial. So I've never been, in a predicament where I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble now because I said something that I shouldn't have in comedy anyway.
Right.
So
Uh, you mentioned, the speaking anxiety and on stage and all that stuff. Public speaking brings the anxiety, but in small groups, I guess you're more comfortable because as a real estate person, you're always in probably. I'm assuming s- very smaller groups, like
yeah,
4 to 5 people at most. Whereas, like Kiara becomes totally mute when she's in a group of 3, as you can see. Um, but no, people.
I'm listening.
I know you. I know you. But I want to talk to you about your listening in a moment. Uh,
Oh man.
because of yesterday, yeah, and I will bring that up in a second. But, but for me, the opposite is true. I am more comfortable speaking to 1,000 people than I am to 2 or 3 people. But does that help? Did that help the real estate stuff help with you coping with that anxiety of speaking in front of people?
not really. I don't think the real estate really parlayed. I was so desperate to keep my world separate because I
Really?
thought, oh my God, if I have a client, they're gonna list their, multi-million-dollar home with me if they find out she's a clown. So I really tried to keep it all separate for the longest
Uh,
time.
I don't know. I think I'd probably have a different. I'd be excited by having a real estate agent who was a comic. I'd probably just be chewing your ear off, asking questions about, that life. Be
Yeah, as I find out now that I'm out of the closet, so to speak, I find that more people are fascinated and intrigued by it. And most people will say, "Oh yeah, I would love to try something like that." But you know,
that's a very unique way of putting it. Out of the closet for comedians, it's like there's something to be ashamed of in some
yeah.
way. Yeah, I know.
Well, like Blair isn't even my real name. I just went rafting a couple summers ago, and all my gear was labeled Blair, my vest, my sleeping bag, the tent. And so the guides called me Blair for a week. And my friends I was with were like, well, I can't change it now. All my stuff is laminated. So I was Blair. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to keep that name. So my first name, it's just hard for people to pronounce correctly. And I was still at that point trying to keep my worlds separate. And then
Right.
finally, now somebody found out at the office that I did stand up. Now everybody knows. And so,
How could they not know? And well, this is part of some of the conundrums I see people who want to keep their world separate is
yeah,
because I've had authors on my evening program. I do a lot of author interviews, and I've had some authors who don't put any information about themselves out online or anything like that. And like, you're a public person. I understand you want to maintain some privacy,
yeah.
but once you become somebody who's selling something for public consumption, you can't really afford to just be totally anonymous and like in the
Yeah.
witness protection program.
Yeah, it just kind of work against your,
Yeah, yeah.
emotions and things. So
Good
yeah.
thing. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to put up your Instagram and Facebook
Oh,
stuff right
yes,
now.
yes,
uh,
yes.
so, like yesterday we had just coming back to what I was just referring to. Yesterday we had a comic on who was um, a little bit
Horrendous.
insane, quite insane.
Yeah.
Where the hell oh, banners? I'm sorry, I'm just like losing it. So there you go. Instagram, Blair Burns does comedy, and there's a Facebook, which I think we need to change that profile ID to your name, like Blair Burns does comedy, instead of a long list of numbers. There, both are in the description
Oh,
and clickable to make things easy for people. I
yeah.
just scroll them across the bottom.
And I'm Blair Burns.
Uh, we had a gentleman on who was batshit crazy yesterday. And Kara was as quiet as she is now. And then when he went off the air, we were discussing him, and she said she wanted to punch him through the screen.
Oh
He,
I did.
no.
so, and she's generally not this quiet. So I'm hoping you're not reacting.
Yes,
the
I
same.
am. Yes, I am. I let
You
them
are.
speak. I let your guests speak. What am I supposed to say?
You have input.
Bacomonde.
You have input on a lot
Come
and
on.
comments on just
I
about it.
couldn't mind it.
Last
Yeah,
couple
but
days.
I'm listening.
Anyway,
if I
he
had
read
a
the
question-
comments last night on YouTube. He said, "Thanks for having me on," and not everybody likes the same thing. So he saw. So I just want to encourage you, whenever you're feeling like that, and that
Should
to
I say?
express.
Should I say? Excuse me. I'd really
Yeah.
like to punch your face right now.
Yes.
Yes. And then just
Or
go
just-
back and just sit.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, not
Yeah.
just sit. But at least I think honesty goes a long way. What I was
I
getting
think
to the
that
point.
sometimes there's nothing to say. I think letting him let it out, let his crazy
But-
out, is
Right,
saying more
I
than
get
me
that.
saying.
But if somebody is making
"Shut
you
up."
so uncomfortable that you want to punch them through the screen, you have my permission to say, I'm not enjoying this segment. I gotta let myself out of the room.
I was enjoying letting him make a fool of himself. How about that?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
What makes me curious now? I'll have to go watch it and see the nature of
You don't
this
want to.
movie.
Well, he's in Las Vegas, and which is kind of your backyard there, not too far
Yeah.
from you, that same area, which is
Oh, well,
I
Be
thought you
careful. Shut your doors. Lock your doors. He's on
Yeah.
the loose.
I think you might even be a mutual friend on Facebook, but that doesn't mean you know them. Because
Right.
I have 5,000 comedians on my friends list on Facebook that I don't know most of them,
Yeah.
but so yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. But yesterday's numbers were the best numbers So people like crazy. But the best numbers ratings wise since right before Andy's surgery, that Christmas show when Andy was on right before his surgery. So I'm thinking we need to have more batshit crazy people on.
That's
Huh.
fine. We could do that.
Right?
We could do that. I don't mind the crazy. I just wouldn't want him to come over for a barbecue,
Right.
or do dental work on me.
So yeah, right. So Blair, he started by saying he was a oral surgeon, and somebody died in his chair, and he got. This is how he got into comedy. Somebody died in his chair, and he went to prison for involuntary manslaughter, and became a comic in prison.
Sounds familiar. Was he from the Phoenix area?
No, he's originally from Dallas, Texas, but he was living in Portland, and now he's living in Vegas, and he's got a weed shop.
Okay. All right. That sounds like a very interesting individual. Okay.
Yes, very interesting individual. Wow. So that's what she's alluding to there with the dental work. Yeah.
Oh,
stylistically, you work very clean because you haven't said a cuss word yet or any profanity. I'm assuming.
Well, so for the most part, I mean, yes and no. So I do. A lot of my jokes have some sexual innuendo to it, but I'm not a lot of F-bombing. It just, I could, I always say I just save it for my kids, but I don't, just happens. I don't know. I wordsmith my jokes. I write clean, concise jokes. I'm not a lot of conversation and telling long stories. I wish I was. I need to work into that so you can buy a lot more time. So I'm just more like clean jokes, not clean, but they're just very structured and you get the setup, then you get the punchline and I don't know, it just works with my style the way I think, but I don't pepper it with a lot of swear words. I'm not offended by it. I mean, I certainly, in my own conversations have no qualms about dropping, the F word every here and there. But honestly, I feel embarrassed to talk that way in front of a crowd. Like,
right. And it should never be forced. Nothing should be forced, whether it's clean or dirty or any of that stuff. You really have to be authentically who you are and whatever, and in your comfort zone too. I'm just curious now. You talk about writing. When you're writing jokes, is it a discipline thing for you, or is it like it could be anything? Like in the middle of the day, an idea hits you, and you just kind of write it down.
Totally middle of the day thing.
Really?
Like whenever the idea comes up, if I just sit down to write and I have nothing, and I mean, you got tons of jokes that you're always working on or a premise, like, okay, that could be funny, nothing funny yet. I mean, you try to work it into a joke, but usually I'm voice recording into my phone or having a conversation, and I'm tapping out my little notes. Here's a joke about, the blah, blah, blah. Or I'm at karaoke and I'm like, that's just making me laugh. And so I'm making jokes about I write, I'm constantly, observing and pulling in little tidbits. And then at some point I'll craft it into hopefully a good joke that makes me laugh. And then you just have to deliver it and see, because sometimes you think it's funny as a comedian, you deliver it and it's like the room is silent. And it's like, okay, well, that's on you. You didn't do it. So
what are you saying there, Kelly? Kelly's in our chat room. She's one of the people in the chat room right now. All like twins almost. Not Kira and Blair, not. I don't know what you mean by elaborate, young lady.
I'm a little more orange. I noticed I'm like orange over here. Matt and I have like the same skin color. I was
gonna say I don't think she means me in there at all.
Which of us looks more?
I was thinking maybe she meant Deborah Driggs and Blair, because you really
Deborah Driggs. I think Blair's prettier.
Okay. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
Yeah. And they have different face shapes because I checked them out.
Oh, so we were talking about face shapes yesterday.
Yeah.
And oval is the. But you know what? Google lies to you because I used to be in the hair and beauty industry and was mentioning that oval face shapes are the easiest to make look pretty with hair and makeup and all that stuff. They just lend themselves to photographic and editorial work. Yes, that's exactly
Yeah.
how you do it. Yes,
Oh, do you?
I should have.
Oh. I used to be a pie face. I had these cheeks like this as a teenager. Now I say my old cheeks are my new chin.
Uh,
New
high,
chin?
high cheekbones.
Yeah,
Oh
something
yeah.
there. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, Native
I
American.
have an uneven face.
Oh, you
One
have.
side of my face looks like, I was told that one side looks like very sad. And then the
Oh,
other side.
well, everyone has like two completely different
Yeah.
faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
If
I don't
you,
think I do. I think they're both Groucho Marx, no matter what side you look from. They're both Groucho Marx, eh?
Mm.
it works.
Where did I, where did that come from? Oh, because she said twins, and we got off on that kind of.
Yes. Yes.
Did you say so? Do you have Native American blood? Is that what you were saying,
Yeah, got a
Blair?
little Scotia Choctaw in there.
Wow, very
Yeah.
cool, very
Yeah,
cool.
something like a great grandmother or great grandmother Pocahontas. Not the Pocahontas, but a lineage Pocahontas. I'm like, wow, that's original.
Very
And the rest is
cool.
like Italian and Scottish and stuff.
So back to your career now.
Yes,
uh,
yes.
are you basically managing yourself, trying to in the hustle of trying to get gigs and all that stuff? I mean, what's that life like? And is it overbearing? Does that take the joy out of performing?
No, so I am a bad self-promoter. I'm like, as far as doing all the
Right, your
marketing,
profile, your Facebook profile still has profile PHP ID equals.
I don't even know what that is.
It
I
should
know.
say Blair. You can change
Twitter,
that. You can. There's a button that says you can pick your name to go after Facebook.com. Make it a license.
Facebook. So I'll do that next. I so in that sense, I don't, beat myself crazy about it, but I get out and I do things and I get recognition. Well, if I do a good show and you get good laughs, there's always bookers who are at our clubs, our bigger clubs. So I get booked just because they saw a thing, and then I get on. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good without really doing a lot of extra effort promotion. But I need to really to hustle with that. But I'm just, I don't know. I just think, because I think I'm a professional in my day life, I bring it to my comedy thing. I show up early. I'm prepared. I stay. I support all the other comics. I never just do my set and then take off. Especially during an open mic when it's a lot of comics that you're performing to. So you wait for 3 hours to get your 5 minutes at the mic, and you've got half a dozen people because everyone else does their set and leaves. I
Right.
stay. I try to do it with some kind of professional integrity. I don't drink a lot. I don't drink before I go on because I'm afraid that would make me forget or I just lose it. But I just want to be prepared. I can have a drink afterwards. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
So I
Now,
think
not to continually embarrass you about being pretty, but you are attractive, and it's not common for female comedians to be good looking. Yeah,
Oh, don't say it.
I don't know.
Man.
I think it's an
He said
asset to. I think it's an asset to not be very attractive for a lady comedian, because I think.
Don't listen to him.
What? No, I'm not
Well,
saying
first
any.
is-
What? Am I not saying anything bad here? Am I? Am I being
no. Well, so here's the thing with that. I am not my vision. I don't look at him and go, "Well, girl."
No,
you
I
got it."
know. I
I
know.
don't
You know.
think I'm not my vision of what I think a beautiful woman looks like or a pretty woman. So I have no energy about that coming in. But I have heard of a similar thing. Like it's a distraction, it's a detriment. And I think maybe, because none of my premises are about that. Oh, she's gone now.
Yeah. Well, we lost it because I think her daughter came in and just pushed the button that made her.
Oh, oops. So in recognition of that, and I do think that's a legitimate concern. I have heard from other people saying things like that. Oh, you have to overcome people's judgment. I don't know what exactly that judgment is. So when I open my set, a lot of my comedy is very self-deprecating. And I open my set usually attention to that, saying, how some people tell me I remind them of Sandra Bullock. So I get that every so
Ooh,
often. Yeah, in a weird way, which I'm like,
Yeah, no,
don't
I
know
could
what
see
I
it's
that
love
about.
too.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
get that now that you mention it. Yes.
Yeah, and I say, well, wow, I'd love to have just one thing in common with her, right? And then because I snort, then it's like, oh, okay, she's not taking herself all serious. I'm not there
Right.
going, I look like Sandra Bullock. And then it
Yeah.
kind of like breaks the ice. And if there was any, and then I can move into all my real.
Fuck them. Just be like, I'm pretty and you bitches is not.
Yeah.
But
Just like that.
here's my thing
Just like
about
that.
that, and
Yeah.
And
I
stare at
have a
them.
theory, but I could be completely wrong about this. But I think for a lady working in comedy, the women are pretty much going to be on your side anyway because women don't have a problem with women being funny. But
Yeah.
men, if they see an attractive woman, they're not even listening to her. All they're thinking is, "Wow, I wonder what she
Matt,
is."
that's not true.
It is
I
true.
don't
I'm a
think
man. I
so.
can tell you it's true. And
But you could be an abnormal man. And
no,
second of
I'm an
all,
honest
I
man. That
think
is
that women
Right.
honesty is abnormal, yes. But if
Well,
I'm, I know my
women can be
gender.
vicious too. They could be vicious. They're not every
that's,
woman supports.
Okay, I will. I get that. But
well,
go ahead.
Another thing I think might level that out a little bit for me is because I am older than almost all the comics that I work with. And I think if my jokes are funny, they're laughing. I hear the men laughing, the women are laughing. So I
Good.
think, okay, if you deliver, I think, that's just a nuance. I don't notice, I'll have to say, I don't notice any prejudice. I mean, God, what a ridiculous thing to say. Well, not good looks. I don't think I'm good looking
Now
like that.
Mike Chavola is lying here. He says good looks get you to listen. No, they don't. They get you
Yeah,
to
that's
stop
what
listening.
yes.
No, they don't.
No. Matt,
He's
no.
lying. He's lying. You
You're
can't listen to
wrong.
Mike. Don't listen to Mike. Listen to me.
Listen to Mike. Listen to
Well,
Mike.
here's the thing. What you come to this world with is what.
Right.
There you go. Funny is funny. That's what I think.
Yes.
I don't have anything that I'm not trying to be a model. I'm not standing up there just
No, I agree with you. Funny is funny, and I
yeah,
absolutely some of my favorite comedians. I have to. If you have to list a number, it's unfair. Like people ask you top 5 comedians, but I know in my top 5, Erica Rhodes is definitely in there right now. She's a pretty lady and a comedian, and she is definitely in my top 5. Which, in a male-dominated world, just being
yeah,
in the top 5 is a significant thing
yeah,
because there are so many more men doing it than women. So if you even
mhm,
scratch the top 5, you're a major success at that point.
yeah.
And so,
That sounds right.
but I get that. But I know she deals with some struggles in
Mm.
connecting with the male crowd because she is a little
Yeah.
too
Oh my
attractive for comedy.
gosh.
What?
Don't listen to
Stop!
Matt.
What am I doing
Don't
bad?
listen to Matt. I
Yeah.
think that you should just do what you're doing
I
and
feel
enjoy what you're
dejected now.
doing and don't worry about men,
No,
women,
I agree. You
old,
shouldn't
young.
worry about it.
Just
Yeah.
have fun.
You
And
shouldn't worry about it.
like they said, funny's funny. And
Yeah.
you're gonna get people that truly enjoy you. And that's all that
Yeah.
matters. Don't worry about perverts like Matt who aren't listening to what you're
Perverts.
saying. Like,
That's kind
oh
of a
wow, I
strong
wonder what she
word.
looks like naked. Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh.
Well,
Okay,
all
I'm
my
sorry.
jokes really are like I play it down, talk about like one worst part about being divorced is other think I'm after their husbands. I'm like, and that offends me. I would never sleep with a married man, and my ex-husband will back me up on that.
Now,
So
yeah. Now, Mike is
yeah,
trying to help here, but I don't think he's helping necessarily because he's kind of suggesting that these women are not attractive, and that's not what you want to do.
no, it's been a bigger detriment in my real estate career than anything else. I would have
Yeah.
men, I'd meet at an open house, or I used to have my picture on a sign, and they'd call, and they'd set up like what I thought was like a free coffee date, but no coffee. They just feign interest in things. I wasted more time, and I just come back to the office and just want to cry. I'm like, no, this guy was just hitting on me for the last 3 hours. He doesn't want to buy a house. Like, wasting my time. This is how I feed my kids. And that was more soul crushing. In comedy, I feel like such a clown. I don't care how they perceive me as long as they're laughing. That's all I care about.
Okay, that's
Good.
fair.
Yeah.
Now, you probably haven't reached the point yet where this kind of matters, but well, maybe you have. Maybe it matters right from the start. I don't know. But there is the inequality issue in comedy. You talk about equal pay for equal work and all that stuff that
Oh,
is in the corporate world.
yeah.
But I see like when headliners. Dave Chappelle will get $250 for a ticket to see Dave Chappelle, and Annie Letterman $40, and Nikki Glaser $40, and so there's that really
Interesting.
the the value that society puts on female comics is different than they obviously it is. I don't think it's the
Yeah.
comedy clubs or theaters
Mm.
or bookers. I think it's society in general that says, well, because it's a woman, it's worth less for a ticket. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
I guess, I mean, we're pretty much trained to function with that reality that, if a woman can to this day make 20% less, for crying out loud. Yeah, I don't see why it would carry over, although I think the delivery, I guess I wasn't really aware of that soul crushing information, but
Yeah, I am because I
Matt, there you
interview
go again.
I interview a lot of comedians. I try and not as many obviously because there are a fewer female comedians, but I look at it all the time because I'm always looking at scheduled dates whenever I'm promoting anything. I'm looking at like Foxwoods Casino, and you'll see a list of 20 male comedians, and they're all getting over $100 a ticket, and then you'll see females who are
hmm,
on Netflix, on Comedy Special,
yeah.
Comedy Central, all of them has killer specials, and they're getting $40 or $50 a ticket. And I'm like, that
Oh,
doesn't add up. It doesn't
yeah.
add. Same amount of celebrities, same degree of funny. The
Right.
quality of the art and the craft is the same. The only thing
Yeah.
that is different is gender, and the price tag is less than half sometimes, and it's
Well, maybe I wonder if the female comedians didn't just start high enough with that ticket price. I just say equalize it, and then what are you going to do? Because
I
really, if
don't
you
know.
bring people,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
what
know if they have as much control over it. Again, I think
I don't know.
at some point, on some level, it is club owners and theater owners and the people doing the booking. But I think they're doing that based on society's expectations of what. I know it's not going to get solved overnight, but I definitely like to kind of get perspective on that.
Well, they're definitely
Somebody
slandering
somebody
women.
says Bette Midler is a pretty expensive ticket. Yes. Joan Rivers was a pretty expensive ticket when she was alive too.
Yeah.
Amy Schumer probably. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if she's
I don't
up
like
there with
Amy Schumer.
Chappelle.
Yucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's gross.
Are
There-
you?
I would
there's
never
some-
pay to see her.
So don't get her on the show. And if I do, you're gonna want to punch her through the screen.
Probably.
Is that-
But
She's-
but I'll listen. I'll listen to her like this.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, ugh.
Well, that's being phony. See, I want you to be real. I want you to be
I'm
honest
being
and say,
respectful. No,
I
there's
would-
a difference between phony. I'm not going to say, Amy Schumer, I love you.
No, but it
Oh
would be
my
better
God.
radio, and better for ratings if you said to her, "Listen, I hate your guts right now, and I'd love to punch you through the screen."
That's that. No, I wouldn't be disrespectful.
You were after you went off the air.
No, I would say it to that guy. I would say it to that guy because he
Okay.
was an idiot. But
All right, let's
Okay.
get him on here.
That's funny.
okay, I will. Okay, I'd be like,
That's
dude,
so funny.
what kind of meth was in that pipe yesterday? Was
It wasn't meth. It was
vanilla flavored meth?
No, it was marijuana extract. THC extract is what he was smoking.
I don't
He was
believe
high
it.
when he was
yeah.
on your
Oh
show.
yeah.
He took a hit off in a pipe, but we don't know that it was marijuana because
He told
people
me
on-
he told me it was dab, whatever it is, extract, whatever it is.
Oh, geez.
No, I don't think people. I don't know. I've
It
only
looked
seen
like a
people
crack
high
pipe.
like
It
this.
definitely looked like a crack pipe, or like a
Yeah.
Viking ship with a big old
Oh,
Or
No, it
geez.
looked like
mom.
Aladdin's lamp. Like you rub it and a little meth head comes out with no teeth. Like I will grant you 5 wishes.
But
Sorry.
you seem,
That's funny.
you, Kiara, you seem to have a very strict palette for comedians. Like there are some you enjoy, and there are some because Amy Schumer just brought out
Ugh,
the
she's just
nasty
disgusting.
side.
I just don't like how
I don't
vulgar
never
she
even,
is.
to be honest with you, I don't really know much of her comedy at all. I know she was
You should
accused of
watch it.
joke theft at one time,
A
but I never actually seen her special. But
lot of
just
semen involved. Like how much she loves semen. It's disgusting.
really,
Yeah, and
Oh, really?
I think she tries to I think maybe she tries to get on the same level as a guy because a guy
well,
will talk
that's
about it.
thank you for bringing that up because I wrote an article on Erica, and I'd love to get Blair's perspective on this too. Um, I think because it is such a male-dominated profession, comedy, that a lot of women get into it thinking they have to be over. They have to compete with like the Sam Kinnisons. Obviously, he's not alive and still not a competitor out there, but they have to be as loud and as vulgar and
Yes,
as just offensive as some men do, just for shock value.
I
And
agree.
I don't think it plays for women as much. I think women who avoid that and can embrace their, I don't want to say
Themselves.
femininity
Yeah.
in
Right.
dealing with comedy, can embrace it and not feel like they have to be competing with
Yeah.
men are more powerful and funnier.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. And I think a lot of females and guys, yeah, that's kind of just the way their mentality works, and they can pull it off because it's more natural to them. But
Hi,
I think
Budsy.
I think when the females try to do that, you you're laughing, but it's it is the shock value and it's crude humor. And to me, it's like it's cringy and it's not a joke you can repeat. Like, oh God, it's always all this comedian and repeat the joke and get a laugh because it's just cringy. And that's not my
Right,
style.
right,
So I do
right.
stick to my role as a mother and ex-wife or whatever. I mean, I'm more, I mean, they're absurd made up jokes, but they're more like in my wheelhouse. I don't try to get out there and and compete with that because it's just not my style. And I don't,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like you, Kiara. I don't resonate with that. If I laugh, it's because I'm so uncomfortable. And then I
Right.
usually think, oh, sad that she's up there doing that, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh girl, you could come up with
Yes.
something better, but you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
even
Stick with yeah.
I would blush at somebody like Lisa Lampanelli doing like just the most over the top stuff you wouldn't hear in a locker room with a bunch of
Yeah.
guys. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, is this even safe for me? I don't know.
Right.
When I do the nighttime shows, I take out the Governor stuff, and I'm remiss that I've been doing so far without Governor's Comedy Club sponsorship in the corner there. We are on the Governor's Comedy Club comedy network, and I'm sorry if I didn't remind everybody of that.
Sorry.
Oh, we got it now. It was a good time.
Yeah,
I was gonna say something. Oh,
good. You forgot?
you said something about
Oh, I'm sorry.
you always cut me off anyway. I was gonna say something about femininity. I was told once by these people, these Russian women that were trying to scam me out of $5,000. They took me into a dark place, literally a dark room to make me famous. And thank God I brought someone with me. I probably would have died. But they had said that I was too masculine. My energy was too masculine, and I needed to get in touch with my feminine side. And I said, "Fuck you." But now I know it. But I know, but I know what they meant now. I know what they meant now. That
Yeah, so do I. You want to punch a guy through a screen?
I
But you
would.
didn't.
That's a
I
man
didn't.
thing. That's
I
not a
didn't.
woman thing. Women
didn't.
don't
But-
punch people.
But it's my upbringing because I lived with a single mother, and she used to call me her pit bull because I would, if anyone tried to say anything to my
Okay.
mother, I was like, who talking my mother? And
Wow.
So
Nice.
but so I was very aggressive as a teenager. I had a lot of issues, and I had children And I've really been embracing my feminine side, and it's wonderful to be in touch with who you really are. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah, I think women that like yourself, who are very in touch with themselves, embrace, I can't say femininity, so we're not going to say it, but embrace their femininity, and can go up in front of, hundreds of people and present themselves as themselves. I think that takes a lot of courage. I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah,
Made
it
sense in
does.
my
It does.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, though. And I'm not trying to go like, okay, what do I have to say to make people cringe or laugh? I'm just doing, here's what I got. But they like it, so I'm happy with that,
Good, good.
If
That's all that really matters. If people are laughing at the end of the day, do you think, in terms of like influences, like people you were fans of, or not? Because sometimes you're just being funny and don't really take the time to say to understand who really gave you the creative slant or the angle that you're taking on comedy. Do you think about your influences?
I just think, gosh, from my youngest years, like when I was 10, I just wanted to grow up and be Carol Burnett and costumes and the voices. I would have been so good with that. And then in high school, I mean, I was old school. I had Steve Martin album, with the white suit and the bunny ears. And Gilda Radner was one of my heroes, her Rosanna, Dana. I mean, all her stuff was so fun.
You know who that is, Kira?
Oh,
Radner.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Wait. You say yes, but you.
I do. No, I do. And I think I'm looking
All right,
up
give me something. Give me something from Gilda Radner.
I can't give you anything. I just know who she is.
Rosanna.
Oh my God.
Rosanna,
Dana.
banana.
Yeah.
Rosanna,
and sitting there with the little sweater ball hanging on the end of your nose. We're gonna knock that thing off. I mean,
what was the other door? Emily something where she
Ritella.
was Emily Ritella.
The old lady in a sweater. What is all those violins on television?
Yeah, human racehorses. Why do they have human racehorses?
Oh gosh, she was so funny. So she was one of my early mentors. I think, wow, there's someone who's living my dream. And so, I mean, as I do it now, I don't have a model that I craft my thing after. So I think, gosh, there's a lot of female comedians who don't have kids, or certainly haven't already raised them, or haven't had my life story. So I don't know, I just do whatever I think is funny. It just comes from any place.
Right.
That's the best way. And then hey, if no one's laughing, you're laughing. I think I'm funny. I make myself laugh.
Yeah.
No,
sometimes I'll watch the show and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so funny. But
no
one else laughs. It is what it is.
I told Mikey your line from yesterday, and I'm not going to repeat it now because it was completely vulgar. It was something that Lisa Lampanelli might say.
Why did I? No, you have to say it now because I want to know.
It was about the bidet.
Yeah, you like that one. Yeah, you like that.
I told Mikey that, and he laughed hard. He laughed hard, and that was at me.
I said I could say it again. Watching.
You don't have to.
I know Budsy's watching. Budsy, after you spoke your piece, I wanted to cleanse my inside, so I wanted to shoot the bidet up through my ass until it came out of my mouth and just cleanse my entire body. I really did, and I tried, but I didn't have a setting high enough.
Yeah,
you
did not have to. You did not have to repeat that. Speaking of that, I want to run on I was thinking of, maybe I shouldn't even go there. I'm not going to go there. A comedy campaign because I'm going to come down. I want to do a piece where I come down the escalator at the mall where I announce my candidacy for nobody,
right?
And talk about make America, mediocre again, mama. And I want to introduce bidets as the enema of the people. You don't get that.
I think that your head should be at the end of the bidet. Like you should really polish it. You know
what? And that's a merchandising thing. Seriously, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could sell Mind Dog bidets with my face on the end that you
use.
There you
That's
go.
Make Matt
I knew there was a
mediocre again.
reason
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Oh
keep
no,
you
that
on this
doesn't sound well.
program, and that's it.
Yeah.
that's
You
funny.
anyway. I'm
Or
sorry about.
like what are the oh my gosh, the little things that go up your butt? What the heck are they called?
I don't
Come
know.
on.
Suppository.
Your head could be as the suppository, like shiny.
That's
You
right.
know, like it. Oh, and it could say insert here or something like that, or
Yeah.
it'd be
That's
cool.
right. It could just be a placebo, just for the fun of it.
Wow, I feel totally abused and disrespected at this moment, but that's okay.
No,
I'll
you
get over it.
don't.
I'll get
No, you
over it.
don't. How many times have you made fun of me? Come on.
I
Come
know
on, it's
a
all in
lot.
fun.
That's and
Yeah.
tonight when you're singing, I'm going to be playing all the wrong chords behind you.
Is that any different from a regular day?
No, not really. To be honest, no. It's not all that unusual.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, let's get back to Blair if we may.
Okay. See?
Now you're talking.
No, you can talk. You can have input. You just don't go all full Lisa Lampanelli on me with that.
I'm not used to being on a podcast radio host. I am learning.
Okay.
I'm learning.
All right. So Blair, now when you worked last night, yes, in
Yeah.
a house of, and how late a night is it for you when you do something like that? Is it a late night thing, or are you home at a decent hour in order to get up for 6:30 to do a podcast?
Yeah. Well, I made sure I was home at a fairly decent hour, so it really wasn't a late show. I think that we ended up by 9:30, and then I had some friends that came, and so I met them for a drink afterwards. Went to my first speakeasy. That was kind of cool.
Ooh.
It was
Speakeasy.
fun. Yeah.
What does that mean? Because my version of speakeasy is it's like a secret place. Like you have to
Yeah.
know the password to get in, and
Yeah.
They have one in Farmingdale.
Right.
It's
So
fun.
this House of Comedy is in this location called City North. And so there's restaurants and shops and, salons and stuff all up and down the street. So after the comedy club let out, somebody, I think the security guard saying, yeah, and down here, there's a coffee shop, but it's a speakeasy. So you go in there and the front looks like a coffee shop. And then, you have to do the thing. I'm here for the speakeasy. And the little attendant takes you around and there's this phone booth with an old fashioned phone. And then that wall pushes open and it was really cool. It was a full on 1920s modern design, but really cool.
Wow.
Little speakeasy thing. But, she's leading us down this hallway. And I'm like, I swear to God, if we wake up in a bathtub full of ice and our kidneys are missing, I don't know where we're going. I don't trust this. But it was really cool. And then the little door shuts and it was this small, intimate little thing. And it was fun. So I did that and then came home. So I wasn't too late.
Wow.
do you enjoy because tonight Kiara and I will be playing a venue on the beach, and when we're done, there will be probably still almost 1,000 people at the beach when we're done, and a lot of people want to come up to the stage and talk to you and socialize with you and all that stuff. Do you enjoy that after the show? People come up and I always feel obligated to, even if I'm not feeling it, to spend some time with those people, and because they came out to see us, they're patronizing. You have to give them some of your time, but sometimes it's a drag. Do you enjoy that experience of?
I do, and because they did come out. And so I actually look forward to the end, because I know a lot of people, they want to, take a picture with you or say, oh my God, I love that joke. And, I'm going through a divorce too. And you really made me laugh about it. And it was so funny. And who does your eyelashes? I'm like, they're mine.
Yeah.
Can't help you there. That's all I got.
Do you deal with any discomfort because I have imposter syndrome big time, and when people tell me how great I am, I can't accept it, and it's not like I don't want to make it sound like it happens constantly, but it just flattery and all that, because I know some people I'm like. People just go over the top with their flattery sometimes, and you're like, that's not true. I'm not that. Are you can you handle that? And you're comfortable with that kind of?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people are being appropriate. All I know is if I did my set and I got solid laughs and the laughs with applause and laughter, I'm done. That is my flattery. That's how I
Right.
know I'm done with what I've done. Whatever they say afterwards, well, okay. I just feel like that was the barometer because there's very few
Right.
things you do that you get immediate feedback, 100% accuracy, however they received it. That is their truth about whatever you just did. So I feel like that was all anybody can say. They already
But
spoke to me.
Mike's saying they're drunk at the end of the
Right.
gig, and I agree that a lot of times they are drunk, which adds to that. But don't think they don't get drunk at comedy shows. People drink there's a 2-drink minimum, and most
Yeah.
people are not minimum people.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's
Uh,
true. But no,
uh,
I haven't had anything where I thought somebody was inappropriate. And again, I swear, I think it's my age. Like, I feel like people treat me more respectfully.
I
Like,
don't know. You don't look your age. I'm telling you, if
No, you
I were
don't.
just a
oh, thanks.
stranger at your club, I would definitely assume 30s.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to press into the
And
limit.
30s to me is a kid. So
Yeah.
I would think you were a kid. How about
You know,
that?
I think my energy is probably 30-year-old energy. I don't feel old. It's just a number thing.
Good
But
for you. Good for
yeah,
Good.
you.
yeah, I hope I'm
Good.
still swinging
Yeah.
in my 90s.
Um, Now the audience might laugh hard, but there are some I know any performer, anybody who's out doing what we do. Sometimes you disappoint yourself. You're like, I didn't nail that right. I didn't get that right.
Yeah.
And I beat myself up over that. On the way home, I talk to myself in the car and tell myself how much I suck.
I've
Are
seen you
you?
talk to yourself in the car.
I know you have.
I've
Oh,
passed you.
shoot.
Um, are you rough on yourself when you know, even though they laughed hard, you know you didn't deliver it the way you wanted to deliver it? Are you tough on yourself about that?
Not if they laughed. So I did an open mic and I had some new material, and it's really the only way you know. And so I tripped up and I flubbed a punchline, and it's open mic. So you're like, oh, so sorry. And you just acknowledge it. And then
Right.
and that's also funny. But when I came away from that experience, I thought, wow, I think that's the worst I've ever done. I've been really lucky so far, I think. I feel like I get a good reaction, at least what I was hoping for. So the one time I didn't do so great, I thought, wow, so that would be almost like bombing. It wasn't like silence, but it just definitely didn't have the same rapport that I was hoping. And I said, I was with 2 other comedians afterwards. We sat down to get a bite. And I said, I was always curious how I would respond emotionally to feeling like I had failed, at least myself, but really it's about the audience. And I thought, I'm okay. Because I thought, God, if I blew it, I would probably just never do comedy again.
Ah,
And I'm like, okay, I took my lessons. I rewrote some of the jokes, told them last night, and they totally landed solid. I'm like, it's always me. It's the comedian. But it didn't hurt me like I thought it would. I mean, because
right.
it's
Good.
embarrassing when they don't laugh, but I really thought I would just crumble internally and just kind of go, hey, comedy, not so much for me. But I not that I was impervious to it, but I took it better than I thought, because you don't know how you're going to handle it until it actually happens. And
Yeah.
I was okay. I didn't like it, but I was okay.
I think having 2 boys has really made you stronger. I think.
Yeah, as a
yeah,
mother and the father, so I
Yeah.
go on. So yeah, I think
definitely think so.
you
Hmm.
can't be too crumbly soft,
No.
because you just have to keep picking yourself up. And
I am. I'm totally soft. I've wanted to kill myself after gigs that were gone bad.
oh no,
I have been. It hasn't happened in a lot of years, but
yeah,
especially in the first 10 years or so, bad gigs. I remember one time when I was dating my first wife, and she brought her mother and all her side of the
oh,
family was there to see me play, and it was a disaster. It was the worst, one of the worst gigs I ever played, and we were using subs and stuff, and I wanted it to go so well, and it went so bad that
oh,
at the end of that night, I was thinking I've embarrassed myself in front of this girl's family and all this stuff. They all think like, what is she doing with this imbecile who can't.
Oh, shoot.
And I wanted to die. I definitely wanted to die, and so I think I've grown out of that. But I think
Matt, I
comedians,
got some advice for you. It
yes.
really helped me. Okay, there's two things before I forget, because I have mom brain, so it just comes and goes. All right. First thing that I forgot already. Shit. Second
Well,
thing
that's
is,
good advice. Thank you very much. I feel better now. How much do I owe
One
you?
thing is, someone said to me, the audience doesn't want you to fail.
Right.
They've come out to see you and they want you to succeed.
Yes.
Right? There's always one jerk probably, but for the most part, they don't want you to
That's
fail.
true.
Second is you have to speak to yourself the way you would speak to a stranger. So you're not gonna, like I used to do this to myself, like, you freaking idiot, you can't do anything right, you stupid.
That's how I talk
But
to strangers.
you wouldn't. Oh, so there you go.
No,
But you wouldn't really speak to a stranger like that. So don't speak to yourself like that. And what I've realized is, like, I take singing seriously. Do I like singing in front of people? I close my eyes a lot, but I enjoy singing. I enjoy music. I enjoy it. Nope, I lost it. I lost the thought.
Well,
Damn it.
It'll come back to you.
Wait, it's coming back.
Oh
It's coming
no!
back.
Why? Why does it have to come back?
It's coming back. I have
Go
long
ahead.
amnesia. But what I've realized as I've gotten older is that I'm there for the fun. I'm there for the music. And if I don't hit the notes or if I forget the line, it's all right. Half the people are drunk anyway. They're not going to really.
Our experience is different, though. Okay, and
yes,
because we
yes.
have each other. Blair's up there with the microphone.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
We have
I
each
have been in
other.
open
We,
mics.
and you have a support team there for you, and you have other people to absorb the blow when things don't go exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
comedy is hard, definitely. I've been in open mics before, just me and my tracks. That's how I started. And I would get down on myself if I didn't hit the right note. And especially, taking singing lessons and going to school for theater. It's like, damn it! God bless you. But it is what it is. I mean, sometimes you're not going to do your best and whatever. I like your attitude that you get back up there, you see how you can improve. And it's going to happen, here and there.
At the end of the day, I'm not a surgeon and, drop my scalpel on somebody. It's just comedy. And I heard the same thing, that people want you to succeed. And so I think,
yes,
who am I so worried about? I'm just up there talking jokes.
Yeah.
And I minimize it to what I feel like the least common denominator is. I'm just talking jokes. And if it didn't go so well, it's not about my character or, my morals. It just didn't work. So I was pleased actually that it didn't impact me as much as I feared it would, which didn't mean I won't try really hard to make it good, but it was a nice self-assurance because you just don't know, until you're on there. And like all comedians bomb at some point, if you're doing it enough and taking enough risks.
I saw because I am I'm constantly studying history of comedy and going back and reviewing stuff. So George Carlin did a compilation of all his appearances on any David Letterman show, from his morning show straight through late night, and then the Late Show with David Letterman. And one of the bits where he came out and he was trying out his football versus baseball for one of the first time. It was new then, and he was trying it out, and he flubbed the line, and right in the middle of it, he just went and then carried on right from there. It's like, wow, I would never be able to just and recover from that. I would just have to stop and apologize to the audience. I'm sorry. It takes a level of
confidence.
Yeah, not just confidence, but a thicker skin. I think you have to develop a little bit of a thicker skin as a comedian, because you're all alone there. So you have to you can't just crumble like I would.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I find, even when comedians, sometimes when they're bombing, it can still be funny. Or if they flub their line.
Johnny Carson's made a career out of his flubbing lines or just
Yeah.
jokes that sucked and got no laughs at all.
Right. And then he'd make a joke about how it didn't get a laugh, and that gets a laugh. So
The funniest jokes were about how his previous jokes sucked.
yeah. So honestly, it's okay. At the end of the day, it's okay.
That's
so
great.
we just try to avoid it.
I feel better from you saying it's okay. I feel like I just got.
I know, me too. Like all of a sudden, that was the. I could have heard that 40 years ago. My life would have been a lot better if I would have just heard Blair say, "It's okay."
Yes. If Blair can record that, it's okay. I think
It's
every time I feel upset, I'm gonna play it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
It's okay. This is the mom in me. It's okay, kids. You're gonna be.
Perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah,
So-
I wish my mom said that to me. My mom would be like, "You sucked."
Right. We're getting to the point where we have to say goodbye to Govs, but
Goodbye,
we
governors.
have not yet.
not
I'll
yet.
let you know when. Not yet.
Oh, all right.
I
Not
want to
yet.
talk before we say goodbye to them because Blair has some dates. Well, actually, there's only one date published on the upcoming on your Facebook page. That's July 12th at a place called Tickle Your Bone.
Tickle Your Bone. Oh, it's a great intimate room. And I also have July 24th at JP's Comedy Club. It's in Mesa. Yeah, this is why I'm so bad at voting.
JP's. There's a JP's. I'm wondering if that's affiliated with JP Leonard because he does the Lafayette comedy. Do you know? Is that affiliated?
No,
with
it's
that? Do you know?
Jim Perry. Jim Perry's Comedy Club.
Oh, Jim Perry.
Goes to JP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be there on the 24th in July, and I'm going to take some travel breaks. So I haven't really been working on stacking things up, but I'll be filling it in and then working on my self promotion because.
Cool. Now the Tickle Bone. What is that? A club? Tickle Your Bone. Tickle Your Bone.
So it's So the sign out front says Bridget's Last Laugh, and I'm not sure how this whole thing works. And it says 5-star dive bar, and it is. It really is. But in the back, there's a small room that is Tickle Your Bone, and Sean McCarthy runs the show there every Tuesday, and it is the best room. Like he has regulars who come, and it's maybe, I don't know, half a dozen comedians at any given time. And it is like, it's a great open mic for feedback, but then he books regular guests on there for, full set. And it's just a lot of fun. I just love that room.
Tickle Your Bone.
Wow.
It
I
always
would not
fascinates
go into
me.
a room that said Tickle Your Bone. I'd be afraid.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
this is what I was getting to. The way they name comedy rooms is just
Tickle Your Bone.
See, here we have we have Governors, we have the Brokerage, we have McGuire, Gateway Playhouse, things like that, which are not like. But most of the it's Bananas, Chuckles, it's
right,
laugh your ass off or whatever,
Yeah.
The names they have.
What should it say? What should it say? Like the place. Jokes? No, I don't know. I can't. I'm dead.
We had East Side Comedy Club for a while. We had Caroline's. Caroline's is still.
Caroline's sounds cool. Yeah, I'd go to Caroline's.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But
See,
Tickle Your Bone definitely feels like I don't know. It could be a sex club.
I feel like we're gonna see like a lady with a horse in her 70s or something like that.
Stop. You're going into your Lisa Lampanelli stuff. I won't have that on my program.
Really? Really?
Wow. I actually have that every day on my program. Who am I kidding?
Oh, that's so funny.
Anyway, Blair, it has been great to get to know you. I appreciate you getting up super early to be with us today.
Yes.
And I wish you a lot of success. And anything that you have coming up, you can just drop me a line and I will be sure to promote it. Anything along the way, just keep me informed of your performance schedule and anything that you have coming up.
I will do. Yeah, I've got some good stuff I'm working on, so I'll keep you updated.
I appreciate that. And I want to encourage people. The links are in the description. There's on IG, it's just Blair Burns Does Comedy on Instagram. And then that Facebook thing, just click the link and make it simple.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'll fix that right now.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in and have a great day, great weekend. And I don't know if your dad's still alive, but whatever, if you're celebrating Father's Day, anybody have a happy Father's Day on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Bye for now. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Blair Burns, everybody. Good stuff there. Now, I do think I have to get off of governors right away because I overstayed
Can I say it
my.
now?
Yeah,
Goodbye,
you can take
governors.
it by govs. So wait, it's not working.